a very jovial mood, like I told you. Everybody's merry. Not much is being discussed. People are looking wonderful. I'm actually joined by the wonderful Deputy Secretary General of the ANC, Ms. Jessie Duarte. She is next to me right now. It doesn't feel like work this evening. Ms. Duarte, good evening and welcome to ANN7.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you too. You look absolutely beautiful.
Oh, bless you. You look stunning as well. It doesn't feel like work today. News anchors party sometimes. Yes. But tell us, tonight is for the benefit of those who are not aware, the significance of today's event. We know it is ANC tradition to have the gala dinner, but what exactly is the significance beyond all of us being merry?
Well, I think that a lot of the people here tonight are people from the business community. And of course, one of the things we've been doing in the past weeks has been engaging with business to discuss some of the aspects of the policies of the ANC. Tonight there'll be a little bit of speech, but it's also a moment to interact and network with the business community, help them to understand our views, hear from them. There's a wide range of people here, agricultural people, industrialists, people from the mining industry. So tables are probably going to be very energetic and there's going to be a lot of talk going on. So that's what this is about. It's an interaction evening. And of course tomorrow is not an event. Tomorrow we will be dealing with the core issues that affect our country and also challenges for the ANC. And we will be having 3 days of discussion on that. Tomorrow as inputs and 2 days as workshops. And then a further 3 days in commissions to look at all the sectoral areas of the country and hopefully come out of this with a very united voice.
I love that you touch on business being here, because contrary to what some might believe is that perhaps government is on one end and business on another. How important is it that when you are busy drafting or amending policy, that you have business sitting very closely to you, because they are an important part of the economy as well? So how important is it for the African National Congress to be in communication and have a good relationship with the business sector?
Vitally important, because they're our partners in many ways to grow the economy. But what we also have to say very unequivocally is that, what we all have to come to the realization that inclusivity is here to stay, and that the whole notion of a South African, the structure of our economy being very closed, being very concentrated amongst a few people, that's the discussion we're trying to have. Radical economic transformation is about discussing inclusivity in our economy. So that's what we're doing with the business people. The ANC's way of doing things is dialogue. And we believe that we cannot talk in the air about radical economic transformation, and it is not understood by a key partner in the realization of that goal. So yes, the business and the government have to work together. We're partners whether we like it or not.
So if they are a bit apprehensive about this phrase of radical economic transformation, how do you allay their fears to say at the end of the day, it is about inclusive growth? We're not looking to compromise our economy, but we're looking to grow it, but you've got to be willing to give as much as you take as the private sector.
In 1990 and just before 1990, most of the people in this country came to the realization that democracy was the only way forward, and that the majority of South Africans could not be left out of making decisions about their lives. The moment has come for us to accept in a different sort of way that the majority of South Africans cannot be left out of the life of our economy and cannot be on the sidelines simply selling their labor to somebody else and not being part of growing the economy as owners of the economic system themselves. So this is not about asking people to give away their wealth. This is about saying to people who are wealthy, and it's not about black or white, or let's not give this thing labels. The reality is that radical economic transformation literally means you have to do that so that you achieve inclusivity. So that means moving the economy in many different directions. It means that you accept and you acknowledge that wealth doesn't trickle down. You grow it from the bottom up, and that people have to be part of owning the means of production, not simply being people who are in the labor force for somebody else's wealth. Because that's what our country's been about for many years. Black South Africans have a right to assert their ambition to be owners of the means of production, and to do it in a responsible way, with partnerships and on their own. With the assistance of the banking industry and the government. And that's why we talk about a developmental state, where the government will have a say and assist people who wish to grow themselves as owners of the means of production. So that's the kind of language that people fear, but that's the reality. Mm-hmm. And we're asking that, don't judge us, work with us. Mm-hmm.
Very profound. One last one in closing. Unity within the party. I mean, of late we have had many of your debates, senior political party members, even juniors. All of the debates have been playing themselves out in the media space. For us, it's been content. But I'm sure as a senior member within the party, it would be disheartening. It is a concern. Are you looking to finally bring closure or unity in the sense of saying, let us have one voice and address the so-called factions? I'm sure at this point many would acknowledge they must exist. It's no longer a question if they are there or not. So how is the political party planning to bring everybody together, especially at a time when you are heading into the elective conference?
There are cold realities that face us as a movement. Some of those cold realities verge on the fact that for us to enable to achieve our goal of a national democratic society, we have to be united as the ANC. And if we are united as the ANC, we would have the ability to unite all South Africans. We're hoping, many of us, that the spectre of the December 2017, which has been very dramatic, I must say, would be one where we emerge with a position that says we need a united ANC. That is one leadership, very strong leadership, that will be able to take the country forward, particularly in a period when we are dealing with our economic realities. That doesn't need division. That needs unity in action and a united voice. So yes, factions are normal and natural in all political discourses. But right now, what we need is an ANC whose value systems are raised above the individual and are raised above the need to belong to some small little group making a particular position known. We have to unite, and that includes all of us. Veterans, newcomers, people who came in the 90s. It doesn't matter where you were in the ANC. Maybe you were not born in 1994. Right now you are here, and the task of all of us is to unite this 105-year-old movement.
No, Ms. Duarte, thank you very much for joining us. My pleasure. It's a pleasure, thank you. Cindy, you've heard for yourself. That was the Deputy Secretary General of the African National Congress talking to me there, saying that, yes, they want beyond the elective conference to unite the party. So hopefully for them, then opposition will not be delighted that beyond this there'll be further divisions, or perhaps there's a new faction that decides to walk away from the political party. So unity in action is what they're saying, and they're hoping that beyond this conference and after the elective conference, they'll be able to achieve just that.